It's strange how the quietest places can feel the loudest at night. My name's Arjun, and last year I worked as a part-time security guard at Ridgewood High, the same school I studied in years ago. My job was simple: check the classrooms, lock the gates, and stay in the CCTV room until morning. Most nights were peaceful, until one night that made me believe this school never really sleeps. What happened that night still gives me chills every time I think about it. It was a humid Friday in July. Power kept flickering because of the storm outside. Around 10 p.m., I began my rounds. The halls were dark except for the faint light from my flashlight. The school always smelled like chalk and old books. Familiar, but tonight it felt heavier. When I reached the trophy room, I heard a thud, like something falling. I checked inside. One of the old cricket trophies was on the floor. I put it back and laughed nervously, telling myself it must have been the vibration from thunder. But deep down, I knew the floor hadn't shaken once. I walked toward the biology lab next. The glass cabinets shimmered in the flashlight beam, full of skeleton models and preserved specimens. Just as I passed, I heard a faint tap, 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 like nails on wood. "Hello?" I called out. Silence. I pushed the lab door open, and the skeleton model hanging from the ceiling was gently swaying, as if someone had just brushed past it. I stepped closer, and that's when I noticed something on the blackboard, a sentence written in messy white chalk. "Who locked the door?" I turned around instantly. The lab was empty. I went back to the CCTV room to check the footage. 12 cameras, each covering a different hallway. I scanned through them one by one until I reached camera 7. The feed showed a girl standing in the old burned-out classroom block, long hair covering her face, wearing the old Ridgewood white uniform. I stared at the screen. She wasn't moving, just standing still, head tilted slightly to the side. That building had been sealed for 2 years, ever since the fire. I grabbed my walkie and called my supervisor. No response. Static. When I looked back at the screen, the girl was gone. My flashlight flickered as I approached the hallway leading to the old block. The walls there were blackened, ceiling fans melted, paint peeling. The main door had a heavy chain, but tonight it was unlocked. I hesitated. The air smelled like burnt wood and something sweet, like perfume. I pushed the door open. Every step I took crunched over broken glass and charred paper. Then I saw it, a desk in the center of the room, untouched by fire. On top was a small science project board, still partly intact, labeled Nisha Kapoor, Biology, the same name I remembered from years ago. The room grew colder. My breath turned white. Suddenly, the chalk on the blackboard began to move by itself, slowly forming the words, "I'm still here." My body froze. I whispered, "Who are you?" The chalk screeched again, "Help me." Then, from the far corner of the classroom, I heard soft sobbing. I pointed the flashlight toward the sound. The beam flickered over a girl sitting on the floor, hugging her knees, her uniform covered in ash. I stepped back, whispering, "Are you okay?" She slowly lifted her head, and I saw her face was burned on one side, eyes hollow and wet. Before I could move, she vanished into thin air. I bolted out of the room, panting. The hallway lights started flickering violently. One by one, they went dark. As I ran, the sound of footsteps followed me, not from behind, but from above, echoing through the ceiling. The whispers began again. "It wasn't my fault. It wasn't my fault." I turned a corner, and there she was, standing at the end of the hallway, motionless. My flashlight went out. For a second, total darkness. When the light came back on, she was right in front of me. I screamed and fell backward, hitting my head on the wall. The world went black. When I woke up, it was morning. The school peon found me unconscious near the old block door. The principal arrived soon after and asked what happened. I told him everything. The girl, the chalk, the voice. He listened quietly, then pulled out an old newspaper cutting from his drawer. It was dated 2 years ago, a report about a fire at Ridgewood High. A 15-year-old student, Nisha Kapoor, had died inside the locked classroom. They found claw marks on the door she'd tried to get out. No one was ever blamed for locking her in. I quit that job the same day, but sometimes when I walk past the school at night, I still see a single light flickering in that burned classroom. I don't go near it anymore. Some nights, when the wind is right, I swear I can hear chalk scraping against a board, spelling the same word again and again, help. Maybe she's still there, waiting for the truth to come out, or maybe she's still doing her project. Either way, Ridgewood High isn't empty. And if you ever pass by it at night, don't look toward the old building, because she'll already be looking back at you.